Nathan Cappiser here for Fairpoint Podcast to tell you all about my thoughts on the new Godzilla movie. Am I too close? I'm too close, aren't I? I'm gonna back up a little bit. Okay, so first, let's just get this out of the way. We know this is something everybody's saying, so first and foremost, they baited us with Bryan Cranston. Now, hear me out now. Gareth Edwards did say that the character was killed off before Bryan Cranston was ever cast, that they had tried a few different versions of this script, some where the character lived and continued to be a part of the story, and some where he died, and any time that the character lived, it just seemed very pointless. Like, there was nothing for the character to do but just act conspiracy theory-y and, rant and all that, and it really wasn't necessary to the story and just kind of wasted everybody's time, you know what I mean? I believe that. I buy that. Are you fucking serious right now? Are you gonna do this every time I make a fucking promo for the goddamn channel? Unbelievable. Of course, all these fucking 9-year-olds can record Let's Play after fucking Let's Play, but every time I want to accomplish something, oh no, God forbid a machine fucking cooperate with me, I gotta fucking bootleg it again. Never ends. And I actually honestly kind of respect getting us attached to this character and invested in this character and then killing him off. I mean, that's some Alfred Hitchcock Psycho stuff. Sorry, spoilers for Psycho in this video too, apparently. And traffic outside. But the thing is, though, out of everyone in this movie, Bryan Cranston was the only one that really gave much of a performance that was worth watching. I mean, Ken Watanabe was cool, although he really didn't do much. He was pretty cool in it, but Bryan Cranston was really the only character that, other than Godzilla, that you give a fuck about. And he was all over the trailers, plastered all over everything, and while I don't think that they had any intentions in making the movie to bait us with Bryan Cranston, they knew what they were doing in all the television spots and trailers. Come on, guys. Come on. So yeah, as far as those other characters, Bryan Cranston wasn't the lead in this movie as he was billed. Kick-Ass was. What's his name? I don't fucking know. I'm sorry, but I just couldn't give a shit about another Call of Duty, Mr. Call of Duty guy. It's a bland stock character that I can't relate to. I know there's plenty of American males in my age group and demographic that can totally relate to it. I can't relate to it, and I don't know. How many movies do we need to see where the main character is the white guy that can save us all? I honestly, I don't know about you, but I feel like that's been done to death. Let me on that train! No, absolutely not. You don't understand. I'm the white guy that can save us all. Well, why didn't you say so? Get the f*** on that train. So while we're talking about the characters, I would also like to point out something that was actually running through my mind while I was watching this movie. The movie does not pass the Bechdel Test. Now, if you're not familiar with what the Bechdel Test is, basically it states that in order for a movie to pass this test, it has to meet a few criteria. Number 1, more than one female character. Number 2, the female characters have to talk to each other. And number 3, and they have to talk to each other about something other than one of the male characters. So in this movie there are 4 female characters, none of whom have names that I remember. There was Bryan Cranston's wife, there was Kick-Ass's wife, there was Ken Watanabe's assistant, and there was the female Muto. So right off the bat, none of these characters ever talk to each other. The female Muto talks to the male Muto and only about how bad she wants to fuck the male Muto. So there's that.
No, the bow-legged one. What's your name? That sounds sexy.
There's another test you can do, though, in regards to a movie and how they treat their female protagonists or antagonists, or just characters in general. That's the sexy lamp test. The sexy lamp test is much more simple. It basically states that if you can take a female character out of a movie and replace her with a really nice-looking lamp, and it doesn't affect the plot of the movie at all, then the movie fails that test. 3 of the 4 characters in this movie actually pass that test, and one of them does not. First, we'll start with Bryan Cranston's wife. She's only in the movie for 10-15 minutes, at most, and she serves no purpose whatsoever except for to give Bryan Cranston motivation. However, she is a central part of Bryan Cranston's character. The movie wouldn't really function that well without her in there as the basic motivator for Bryan Cranston, who sets the whole thing off, passes the movie on to the other characters, if you will. Still kind of a weak role, though. Then we've got Kick-Ass's wife, who she is nothing more than a MacGuffin. She is the princess that needs to be saved from the castle. Gives Kick-Ass's character motivation. Without her, Kick-Ass's character has no motivation other than his higher directives from the army to fight Godzilla and the fucking Mutos or whatever. So that gives Kick-Ass emotional arc, if you will. There's no arc other than I want to find my wife. And yeah, she has no characteristics, none of that. So again, a pretty weak fucking character. But at least she passes the sexy lamp test, because if he was just trying to get back there for a lamp, why'd you leave your kid with a lamp? I love lamp. Then there's the female Muto. Well, she's a very important character. We'll give her that. She's a pretty kick-ass character. The movie would not do well without her. And yeah, so that's probably the best female character in the movie right there. Then we've got Ken Watanabe's assistant. Ken Watanabe's assistant does absolutely nothing in this movie. It's a shame, really, because honestly, out of all these female characters, she seems to have the most personality. I remember there was this one point in the movie where the army guy says something and it just gets on her last nerve and she gets fed up and she's just storms out of the fucking room, and I kind of whisper to my friend, I'm like, I need my Xanax. I don't know, she gave off that vibe. She had the bags under her eyes. She's just like very overworked and cynical. I don't know. Maybe there could have been some opportunities with that character, but she just kind of shows up every once in a while and then disappears. So Ken Watanabe has someone to talk to. I don't know. So the Mutos, they were pretty cool. I don't know, they're alright. They were Cloverfield Monsters. Why were they Cloverfield Monsters? That much I don't really get. Why are all American kaiju big, weird, inverted leg bug thingies? Does that say something about our collective contemporary consciousness? Or is it just a crazy coincidence? Or some other group of C words? I don't know. I mean, I was a little underwhelmed with them because they were so similar to Cloverfield, and I guess it was kind of cool in Cloverfield, but I've already seen Cloverfield. They were really cool monsters. They don't remind me so much of like Japanese kaiju, or at least Godzilla monsters, but they're not a big complaint of the movie. I'm totally okay with them, I guess. But I would have preferred to see some more classic monsters. I want to see Mothra, I want to see Gigan, I want to see King Ghidorah, I want to see Anguirus, I want to see Rodan, I want to see Rodan turn into Fire Rodan, I want to see Mechagodzilla, I want to see Mothra turn into Mecha Mothra. Can a dude get a Mecha Mothra? So, I don't know. Gareth Edwards' next movie is about, you guessed it, weird-looking giant bugs. But they're in the Middle East, and the army is fighting them. Is his fucking Star Wars movie gonna be about giant bugs too? I hope not. But let's get to the most important character of them all. Military General Guy. Now, Military General Guy is okay, I'm just fucking with you. Let's get to the most important character of them all. Godzilla was awesome. It was total Godzilla, classic Godzilla, just a few meters bigger than the biggest Godzilla we've seen so far in any legitimate Godzilla movies. Oh my god. Godzilla was great. Godzilla was fucking great. Godzilla was fucking great, man. I was a little bit disappointed with the 100% CG, like it was a little bit too much CG, but it is what it is, I guess. The CG was really good CG, even if I was always aware of it being CG. That's what I feel like is missing from a lot of these, like, monster effects, is the CG should be used to hide the strings and the seams, if you will. Get some more practical effects in there, especially in a Godzilla movie. I mean, up until Godzilla 2000, Godzilla movies were all practical effects. It was guys in rubber costumes, and in Godzilla 2000 there was a CG Godzilla. Of course, I'm ignoring Godzilla 1998 because that was Zilla. If you don't know that already, check out our Zilla episode. It just went up a week ago or so. Wow, I'm rambling. Well, that's what you clicked this video to watch me do, so. I love Godzilla. He was great. They treated him like Godzilla. I mean, the problem with watching the 98 Godzilla wasn't that the monster wasn't cool. It was that the monster owed more to Jurassic Park than it did Godzilla. It's like if somebody did a movie about Dracula, but they just had Dracula acting like a rabid animal the whole time. That's not Dracula. Dracula has a personality, and it's not animalistic, and Godzilla is much the same way. He does have some animal traits, don't we all? He has a distinct personality, and they capture that. They capture the design. I also love how the military can't do shit to fuck with Godzilla, because that's important. You can't beat Godzilla with bombs and guns and stuff like that. I like the way one of my favorite authors put it. Godzilla is not an animal. He's the mythic representation of forces beyond human control. And you can't stop that shit with army and bullets and tanks and shit like that. Matter of fact, the only thing the military accomplished in this movie was killing the babies. Wait for it. It was like Vietnam all over again. Zing! A lot of people say that this movie could have dealt with a lot more Godzilla, and I feel that. It definitely could have dealt with a little bit more Godzilla, but a lot of Godzilla movies suffer from not having enough Godzilla in it, so that doesn't disqualify it from being a good Godzilla movie in my eyes. Some of the best Godzilla movies have a comparable amount of Godzilla in them. That said, the ratio to Godzilla to human might have been a little off. It could have dealt with a little less humans, maybe. Maybe not more Godzilla, but just a little less humans and a shorter running time. Final Godzilla verdict? 7.5 out of 10. 8 seems a little too high. 7 feels like I'm not really doing it the proper respect. So we'll settle on a 7.5. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.
Untitled Chapter.